Hey, everybody, I'm Steve Alexander, Dr. A. That is Brian Rosenworcel, drummer of the band Guster. It's Tuesday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. We're here to break down what happened on Christmas Day in case you slept through some of it, which was easy to do. I, for one, forgot that it was Monday, but that's another story. Today's Tuesday. Let's do a podcast. Oh, hold on. I'm not ready. Well, I'm going to have to be. Where did it go, Brian?
What are you talking about?
This. I mean, can you believe they let me host my own show, Brian? I mean, somebody should be here in charge besides me.
Was I supposed to make my screen horizontal like yours? Because I'm vertical.
You know, I mean, if I had a producer, if there was someone here in charge who knew what was going on, if there was somebody here to play that music when they're supposed to, we would have answers to these questions, Brian.
It's an insane amount of responsibility, Steve.
Absolutely insane. And I constantly worry that I'm going to sleep through one of these and not be here for it. I mentioned before I couldn't find the music intro that I forgot yesterday was Monday, which it's easy to do during the holiday season to lose track of what day it is. But I was sitting here around midnight watching Luka Doncic just go nuts. And I had to write one little game recap for that. And then I was going to go to bed, be fresh as a daisy for this podcast today. And then it hit me. It's Monday and I have a huge writing assignment due that takes me about 4 hours to do. So I did that from midnight till 4 a.m. And here we are.
Here we are staring at the crust in your eyes, Steve.
Yes. Actually, I feel pretty good. I feel like I came out of that on the other side. We did it. Let's talk about what happened on Monday, Brian. The New York Knicks, I understand your New York Knicks, took out the Milwaukee Bucks. I've argued since day one that the Bucks are not nearly as good as they were without Jrue Holiday there to play defense. It makes Boston that much better that they have him, especially when you add in Derrick White to that combo. And then the Knicks, Jalen Brunson scored the third highest total on Christmas Day in Knicks history. He had 38 points. Julius Randle had 24. RJ Barrett and Quickley had 21 and 20. And my guy and your guy, I noticed he's on your team again. Your team had a lot of players play on Christmas Day. Isaiah Hartenstein came through 11 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, and a block. Got 33 minutes, 30 minutes in 6 straight games. I'm all in. 6 years later, Brian, I am all in on your Hartenstein call.
Well, this is a breakout year for Mitch Robb. So let's acknowledge that this Knicks surge, as well documented by Tommy Beer, is it's more than Brunson. It's been Mitchell Robinson, but we're looking at a solid 2 more months of iHeart, and I'm ready.
Yeah, and Hartenstein's available in a lot of fantasy leagues. Like Brian and I probably aren't gonna enlighten the world with too many things, but I think we can both say that you should be picking this guy up if he's available in your league, especially if you need a center. And all it took was for every center in New York to be injured, and Tom Thibodeau is suddenly playing him 30 minutes a night. It's miraculous.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get huge scoring numbers, but you're going to get some defense. You're going to get some boards. It's going to be a solid contributor. He's not going to give you the hustle of Julius Randle. That's a joke.
And well, you just cut it off so abruptly. I wasn't sure if there was more. I wasn't sure. I was waiting for the punchline, Brian. So the Knicks play 3 more games this week. They play 4 times next week. So Hartenstein, I think, is solid pickup. And if you need a guard and you want to go with Emmanuel Quickley, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's at least making some noise in the six man race. The Bucks were led by Giannis's 32 points, full stat line. Damian Lillard had 32 and eight assists, 4 3-pointers. Chris Middleton, season high 24 points. That's kind of a big deal. He had 20 on Saturday, he had 24 on Monday. Maybe he's finally getting healthy. Maybe he's going to start looking like Chris Middleton again, because so far he hasn't felt very Middleton-ish to me. And then Malik Beasley was one of the buzzkills on Monday. If you rolled with him in DFS or you've got him on your team, he'd been playing pretty well. I had 19 on Saturday, and he didn't score a single point on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's a bummer if you rolled with him. But like you said, the proof is in the Bucks without Jrue Holiday and the Celtics with Jrue Holiday. There are these players who are beyond their fantasy statistics. They're just real life winners. And I think Holiday is one of those guys.
I agree. And, not to diss Dame Lillard. I mean, Dame's he's a good dude. He's a fun player. He's fun to have on your fantasy team. It's fun to watch him play generally, but he just doesn't have that defensive dog in him that Jrue Holiday has. And Jrue Holiday, when you add Jrue Holiday and you've got Derrick White having a big role, one of the best rebounding guards in the league, and then you've got Kristaps Porzingis healthy and playing like he did yesterday, I don't know who's going to beat the Celtics, but then again.
Yeah, they look like geniuses over there with Derrick White. I mean, that guy's putting up offense and defense right now. He's just a winner. Seems like someone in the front office there knows what they're doing. I question the Porzingis trade, and if he stays healthy enough, they might look smart there.
Well, and I feel like they're going to let him rest whenever he wants during the regular season, whenever they need him to, because they don't need him out there every night to win games, as we've clearly seen. And, Porzingis can take one game off every single week from here until the playoffs, and the Celtics are going to be just fine, and he'll be ready to go during the playoffs. I'm going to skip over the next game on the docket, which is Nuggets-Warriors, to talk about the Celtics and Lakers, since we're already talking about the Celtics so much. Then we'll go back and get that one. All 5 Celtics scored in double figures. Porzingis led the way, 28 and 11, 2 blocks, 2 threes. He's only played in 6 of their last 12 games. He's had an ankle injury, which is better than a knee injury, I suppose. Jason Tatum had 25 points. Jalen Brown got hurt, went to the locker room, collided with LeBron James, hurt his back, came back, played through it. That was good to see. Derrick White, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 threes, man. I mean, what a baller. Jrue Holiday had 7 assists, a steal, a block, 3 3-pointers. Both of those guards scored 18 points. Impressive road win at the Los Angeles Lakers for the Celtics. Feel like they kind of wanted to make a statement in this game. I feel like they did. The Celtics moving forward get the Detroit Pistons on Thursday, Brian. Now, the Pistons, as we know, have lost 26 straight games. After Monday night, it might be 27 as they host your former Brooklyn Nets. How many guys are the Celtics going to sit and see if they can still beat Detroit with on Thursday?
I mean, they're not playing Tuesday or Wednesday. That should give Porzingis and Jalen Brown time to nurse their injuries, but you got to wonder if they're going to be in the lineup. I can't understand how a team can lose 26 games in a row. The Pistons have Jalen Duren returning tonight. I was able to activate him in a league where he was on my IR spot, whereas Porzingis last night I left on the bench somewhere because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, Pistons are going nowhere. They're going to have people sitting against them. They got the Nets tonight.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I was once a Nets fan, and then they went for that big ego forward power trio thing, and no one liked them. They lost.
Yeah, they did. I was looking something up on my phone and I totally forgot. I had like 12 text messages. One of them had something to do with me singing a Backstreet Boys song, but that's another story. I got distracted. The Lakers, Anthony Davis played through his ankle injury, went off for 40, dude. 40 points, 13 boards. LeBron played through his ankle injury. LeBron did not look all that LeBronish Christmas Day-ish yesterday. He had 16 points, 9 boards, 8 assists. Okay, he almost had a triple-double. But we need LeBron to score at least 30 on Christmas Day for it to be a LeBron type game. The crazy thing about the Lakers is this lineup shakeup. We got D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench. He's all but gone, right?
I dropped him.
You straight up cut him.
I straight up cut him. It's in a league where there's plenty of good people on the wire. It'll be a long time before he's back in form on another team or on this team, so I didn't want to wait for it.
Well, I mean, he played 18 minutes. He played, I think, 19 minutes the game before that. Everything's down. The Lakers want to move him at the trade deadline. They want to let LeBron be the point guard of this team. All of that is bad news for D'Angelo Russell. I mean, I think you hang on to him if you can, but if there's a hot free agent out there that you need to pick up, he's a guy that's droppable right now. Oh, back to the Pistons real quick. The kid from Jaden Ivey, the kid from Purdue, Jaden Ivey's been hot, like very hot the last couple games. I think he's a really strong DFS play tonight. I'm rolling him in my FanDuel lineup for sure. The price is right. He scored about between 43 and 50 FanDuel points his last 2 games, I think. But back to the Lakers, dude. This whole starting Taurean Prince, Jared Vanderbilt, Vando, and Cam Reddish. Like, these are guys that couldn't stick with like pretty mediocre teams.
You got Hahcimura's in there too now. It's like I don't know. I was hoping Austin Reaves would step out this year, and it's kind of happened, but not really.
Yeah, it's been more of the same from Reaves. I was kind of hoping for a breakout season. It's been great game, good game, mediocre game. Great. It just kind of bounces around those 3 from night to night. I was hoping he'd be a little more consistently big. 11.6 boards, 3 assists, and a steal off the bench last night. But the minute any of us bench Austin Reaves or do something dumb with him, he's going to go crazy. So that's why they play a whole week worth of games and not just one. You just leave him out there and let him do his thing. I don't know what to tell you about Taurean Prince. I'm not running out there to pick him up anywhere. Have you considered it, Brian?
No, I'm not looking at any Lakers, to be honest. I dropped my one Laker.
Who was that? Oh, D'Angelo.
That was D'Angelo Russell, and I was really excited to get him in the preseason. I thought he was going to do big things. There's going to be some injuries. LeBron's old. He went down yesterday, and he was grimacing in pain, holding his knee, and I thought, well, this is it. This is a real injury, and then he was back minutes later.
Kind of like
a crazy block.
Oh, was that when he got knocked out of Taurean Prince's hand by somebody else, and then LeBron blocked it?
Yeah, Tatum was going up and kind of bobbling the ball, and like LeBron absolutely swatted it from behind, as he does.
Yeah, and then they reviewed it and called a foul on Taurean Prince because he knocked it out of Tatum's hand to begin with, and so the LeBron play didn't even count as a block. But Scott Foster, when he looked into the camera to get ready to announce that decision, he said, "Oh, y'all aren't gonna like this." I thought that was pretty funny. All 5 Nuggets. So the Nuggets played the Warriors. Well, Brian, first of all, let's explain to people why you're here. People are probably like, who is this guy sitting next to Dr. A?
He doesn't even know how to pronounce the names of the players.
I don't either. So that's okay. That's not a prerequisite. But like, who is this dude? Well, he's a drummer for the band Guster, but you are, in my eyes, Brian, a fantasy basketball legend. You've been doing this a very long time. You play in tons of leagues. Even though you're funny and you like to joke around, you do know what you're talking about. You do know what players are good. You do know how to win leagues. You've written columns for me before at my old jobs. We've been podcasting together on and off for years. And it's great to have you on the show again. I always look forward to you being here.
Well, thanks, Steve. And most importantly, I'm in Missouri right now. And when my in-laws tried to put on the Kansas City Chiefs game, I said, no. This is an important New York Knicks game, and we got to watch it.
Well, did you watch that Kansas City Chiefs game?
I was forced to. This is like that BBC show where the kids and the nanny come in, and he's got to I watched some of the Chiefs game. I read a lot of people online trying to farm engagement by saying it's a curse of Taylor Swift. I don't believe that to be true. I thought Las Vegas looked really solid. That said, nobody wants to watch the NBA out here when there's a football game on.
Well, there should not be football games on Christmas Day. It's a basketball day. For some people, it's the official start of the NBA season. Now, I would have rather watched football, I think, than the Sixers Heat game with no Joel Embiid and no Jimmy Butler. But that would have deprived me from seeing the Jaime game, which we're going to get to in a second. Let's jump back to that Nuggets win over the Warriors. All 5 Nuggets starters scored in double figures. Jamal Murray had 28. Jokic had 26 and 14 and 8. MPJ had 19 and 10 with 4 blocks and 3 triples and 1 sweet behind the back pass to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I believe that was.
So let's talk about MPJ for a second, because he's I'm out here in Columbia, Missouri, and that guy is a Mizzou product. He's a local. It seems like my in-laws all wanted to point out that in the last 2 games of the finals, he was benched in favor of Bruce Brown, and also that he got a max deal when his injuries aren't going to let him even play for enough seasons to make it worthwhile. It seems like there's some bad blood with MPJ out here in Missouri. I'm just saying, I don't want him on my fantasy team. I feel like there's a curse.
That's a lot of inside information from a family that didn't want to watch NBA basketball yesterday. Like, those people, they know their MPJ. And again, we're getting off track here because a lot of these people watching this podcast, most of them are only here. They're not here to hear you and I banter and make each other laugh. They want to hear fantasy nuggets. They want info, Brian. But I'm just going to say, is Missouri going crazy right now waiting for this Ohio State football game? Like, is the world exploding there?
Yeah, the world here is exploding as they wait for this Ohio State football game. Actually, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't follow college football. But yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're fired up. Trust me. All right. Jokic hit 18 of 18 free throws. Steve Kerr called it a disgrace. He said no one in their right mind would want to watch the second half of that basketball game. The referees have been taught how to ruin the game and take defense completely out of it. Your take on that?
I honestly felt the same way watching this game. I felt like there were a couple of really cheesy calls. Jokic going to the line. Jokic going to the line that much is boring, and they're protecting him. And I can't, as usual, I agree with Steve Kerr.
The Warriors got 22 points from Andrew Wiggins, who led the team in scoring. We've
Yeah.
seen Wiggins play well in 2 of the last 3 games. Horrible in the one he didn't play well in, but Wiggins has been a disaster, absolute disaster this year. He's on waivers everywhere because everybody who drafted him thinking he was going to be good got tired of it and dropped him. I mean, is Wiggins a guy we should be targeting right now?
No. I'm in a league where Brandon Podziemski is available on waivers. And he shouldn't be. He had 5 steals last night, full line, and he's been solid. And who should I drop for him? Like, so on my team, I've got as options Jordan Poole, ironically. I got Max Strus, I got Jabari Smith, and I got Daniel Gafford. Which of those guys would you drop to pick up Brandon Podziemski?
Podziemski
Cool.
baller, and I love him, and he should be rostered everywhere, at least until Draymond's back and probably thereafter. Out of that group, Jordan Poole, as tempting as it is, I don't think he's droppable just yet.
All right, what about Gafford and Jabari Smith? Those are big guys who you normally wouldn't count on, but Gafford put up 6 blocks and 4 steals the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I think Strus is the answer, dude. I mean, Strus is 3-pointers is his middle name. Everybody's hurt in Cleveland right now, which is a good time to have Strus, but eventually those guys are going to come back. But I just think you need some Poj in your life, man. I've been telling my son to pick him up for a week, and I think Podziemski yesterday had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals, 3 triples, played 34 minutes. They play 4 times next week. I don't know how he can still be sitting out there.
Yeah, they say Max Strus is just a poor man's Podziemski anyway.
Jonathan Kuminga had 13 points and 5 boards. He's been kind of boring. I mean, you want Poj over Kuminga, you want Poj over Wiggins.
I just feel like this team is sort of at a moment of an identity crisis where there's a changing of the guard, but the guard has been so established there that it's hard to do. And so you have Draymond acting out. You have Klay Thompson, who's not performing like he used to. And you have Curry, who he was 7 for 21 last night. He's not he's maybe not what he used to be. It's an awkward time to be the Golden State Warriors. What do you think?
I mean, Curry was 7 for 21. Klay was 3 for 12. 9 points on Christmas Day. Like this is supposed to be their coming out party and show the world that they're better than we think they are, and they're just kind of a mess right now. And anytime you got the Warriors, and you and I can sit here and literally list 6 guys that you have to be thinking about picking up off the waiver wire, something's wrong. Like their foundation is confusion right now. Trayce Jackson-Davis went to Indiana, got hot for a minute, played just 15 minutes. He was in foul trouble the whole game, but the Warriors and Steve Kerr really like him. He's going to be playing. He needs to be given a look in fantasy. And then you've got Dario Saric, who's also getting minutes and doing things with Draymond gone. So they're a mess. I think they're having an identity crisis right now. And Klay didn't look right for the first 20 games, and then he sort of started looking right again, and now I don't know where we are. Yesterday was kind of a disaster for Golden State.
Steve Kerr's going to figure it out. Legend.
Speaking of legendary coaches, Eric Spoelstra stayed perfect on Christmas Day. He's 9-0 on Christmas Day, Brian. They beat the Sixers. The Jimmy Butler-less Heat beat the Joel Embiid-less Sixers. Sixers are 0-4 without Joel Embiid this season. And we got, thank goodness, the only good thing to come out of this game was we got the Jaime Jaquez game. Where were you for the Jaime Jaquez game? You were.
I'm just shocked I'm shocked that that's how you pronounce his name. So Jaime Jaquez, and, he was on my team earlier, and just even a couple weeks ago, I had to drop him because he was inconsistent. I do think he's a future star. I think it helped for Butler to be out, but yeah, he's the real deal, and it was the game you didn't want to watch because Tyrese Maxey, even who's a superstar now and has shown that he's more valuable on a team than James Harden, went 4 for 20. Tough night for the Sixers.
Yeah, he started out 0 for 9, didn't score in the first half. Jaime Jaquez, also known
Thank
as
you.
Jaquez. This dude, now granted, you're right. Jimmy Butler was out, and Caleb Martin got hurt very early in that game, which opened up a ton of alleys for Jaquez to have success. And, when people were asking me about him a month ago, I was like, man, the Heat are going to get healthy. He's going to get squeezed out of the 30 minutes a night he was getting. But I don't feel that way at all anymore. And I didn't feel that way for very long once I said that, because he has really endeared himself to the fans. He's endeared himself to his teammates and Coach Erik Spoelstra. He's the leader of this team, I think. Like, he's now the locker room leader as a rookie, because I don't think Bam and Jimmy Butler get out there and rah-rah the troops. And I think he's a guy that all these guys are sort of like, all right, let's just follow him because he knows how to ball. And, unlike as bad as Maxey was, that's how good Jaquez was last night. 11 to 15 shots, 31 points, 10 boards. Easily the game of his life. Caleb Martin could miss several games with this injury, which means Jaquez is going to keep rolling. Jimmy Butler is going to take one game off every week, which means Jaquez is going to keep on rolling. And, he's a guy at this point, you're sticking with him through the good and the bad, I think.
All right. I like it. And also the Heat are a team I like to just kind of ignore, but they went to the finals last year. They came out of the East, they know what they're doing. And Bam was fantastic. Tyler Herro put up 22 points.
Yeah, Spoelstra's a genius. And he's also somehow able to get all of his guys minutes when it doesn't seem like he can get all of them minutes. Like, he finds a way to make that happen. Two things that stuck out to me about that Sixers situation is Kelly Oubre came out on fire. He had 25 points, 6 triples, big stat line. So he was awesome. If he's available in your league, he's got to be picked up. The thing that made me really mad about this game is we were promised, sort of, that Robert Covington was good to go and was going to play. Nick Batum was already ruled out with a hamstring problem. So I loaded up Covington in FanDuel. He's in my 30-team lineup, and he never got off the bench. So Nick Nurse and I have a long history together with Chris Boucher, and who I've sometimes called Chris Bosch. And Nick Nurse, I'm officially done with him. It's over. It's over.
Well, talk about people getting burned. Paul Reed was a popular pickup, right? He put up nothing.
He comes out and racks up 4 fouls in about 11 seconds. As fast as Reggie Miller scored all those points that year against the Knicks at the end of the game to win it. That's how fast Paul Reed racked up 4 fouls last night. And is it just me, or every single time Joel Embiid is out, everybody races out and rolls Paul Reed out there? They pick him up for their fantasy lineup. They put him in DFS. They bet money on him, and he never, ever, ever comes through. I'm done with Paul Reed. And as a result of Paul Reed completely having a meltdown and doing nothing, Mo Bamba I'm
Yeah.
Mo Bamba. Scores 18 or no, he had what? I wrote his stats down wrong, Brian. I'm surprised you didn't correct me on that. He had a season high 18 rebounds, and then he did 6 of something else and 3 3-pointers. I wrote those numbers down wrong, which hopefully they caught that before they published my article. But Mo Bamba just went off. No, he had a season high 18 points. Those numbers are right. I got
Steve,
confused.
you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, it was the dude from it was Chimizi Me Too that had the 19 or 20 rebounds or whatever. Yes, Mo Bamba's numbers are right. He had 18 points, 6 boards, 3 triples. That's a fluke. Don't buy into that. That's all because Paul Reed sucked and Joel Embiid did not play. So whatever. I'm over the Sixers. I'm not really going to be rooting for them. I don't also enjoy the fact that every time Joel Embiid has a big opportunity to come out and make a statement, do something, he disappears and tends not to play. Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it's Christmas Day and most people were watching football.
Underdog Fantasy is the #1 platform for NBA best ball and DFS player pick'em contests. If you haven't tried Underdog yet, new Underdog users receive a first-time deposit bonus up to $100 and a free 6-month subscription to RotoWire with promo code RWNBA. That's promo code RWNBA. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app today and use promo code RWNBA to claim your free RotoWire subscription and deposit bonus. Brian, talk about bad beats, dude. I had an Underdog lineup last night that had Luka in it. It had some basketball, it had some football, and the only thing left that I needed to hit to win all the money in the world, my $1 was going to turn into like $20. I needed 255.5 passing yards out of San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy. He threw to Deebo Samuel. Samuel broke a tackle, ran all the way down, puts him at 255. 5 minutes left in the game. San Francisco has the ball. What could go wrong? Purdy's like, oh, my shoulder, I got a stinger, doesn't feel right. Walks off the field, never comes back. Lost it by a half yard.
It's almost like the franchise in San Francisco was conspiring to not get you a $19 win.
I mean, seriously, that's exactly what it felt like. It was a personal attack. All my rooting against the Niners these years, they got me back, Brian. They didn't like it. All right. I can't talk about that anymore.
We got to talk about Luka. We got to talk about these Dallas Mavericks.
My Mavericks, 128. The Suns with Kevin Durant moping around out there looking miserable. 114. I don't hear anyone complaining about the fact Luka hit 12 of 12 free throws last night. He got to line 12 times.
He put up a monster line. And, I own him in the league that we're in together, which is funny because you usually like to draft Luka Doncic, but not this year. Kevin Durant, as you mentioned, he doesn't look right. He just seems like he's an expired version of himself out there. I know he's putting up numbers and like some people are have him in like their top 10s of the year. But what I saw last night, it didn't look very effective.
Well, I just don't think he's happy. Like Brad Beal only playing in 6 games is not cool. And outside of Devin Booker and KD, what do they really have? They don't have DeAndre Ayton anymore. Nurkic is serviceable. He's not great. Eric Gordon is, an old guy, kind of like us.
One might say that they traded some of their better assets to the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean, do they miss Mikal Bridges? Yeah.
so much. And they miss Ayton, and they miss Cam Johnson was on that team, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they don't seem like they have the depth. And meanwhile, the Mavericks, who I was guilty of saying who is on this team besides Luka, they're making this huge mistake. They're finding ways to win. Derrick Lively came back, put up 20 and 10. They just seem inspired. I don't know. I was wrong.
Well, so was I. I mean, I was like, take the under in Dallas wins because you can't win with one guy on your team in the NBA. And Luka was saying last night after the game, next man up. Well, Luka's line, first of all, was stupid. 50 points, 15 assists, 8 triples, 12 of 12 free throws. 6 boards? Like, just
Dude,
stupid.
he had like 3 steals and 3 blocks or something. What was it?
He had a bunch of blocks and he had 4 steals and 3 blocks, I believe. Just a ridiculous line. Our friend Keelan likes to make fun of Luka's new headband. I don't know why he doesn't like it. It doesn't really bother me. If it keeps the hair out of his eyes and lets him do this every night, who cares? Let's look at your team real quick, Brian. Your rock and roll team, which is in second place behind Stephen Malkmus's team, even though Malkmus didn't even bother to show up for the draft. And you keep saying, you keep pretending like I had a chance to draft Luka and passed him up, but I wasn't picking until like 10th or 11th. So Damian Lillard was my first shot at anything. But even if I would have been picking 4th, you probably would have been picking 3rd, and you would have taken Luka right in front of me anyway.
I didn't even want Luka. I just didn't want him to fall to wherever you were.
Well, thank you for that. But let's look at this team real quick. You got Kobe White. He's having a breakout year for the Bulls. Now,
I got him off waivers, by the way.
Yeah. Cam and I were talking about Kobe White last Tuesday or Thursday. Are you thinking about getting rid of him while he's hot, or do you think he's locked in for the whole year with Lonzo Ball nowhere to be found?
Oh yeah, I think he's locked in. This is a real breakout. I also on this team was just got an offer. Someone offered me Lauri Markkanen for my Jonas Valanciunas. And if you look at, which big Viking European you want, I think it's Jonas. He's been amazing. And, it comes down to just like my personal distaste for Lauri based on like his performance as a Bull when I had him on my fantasy team many years ago. And I hold grudges against certain guys. But I'm not doing that trade. I'm holding on to Jonas.
Well, Brian, not ironically, I got an offer involving Lauri Markkanen in the same league from the same person yesterday who wanted to do me a huge favor and send me Lauri Markkanen for who did she want for him? So anyway, it's funny because Amy is listening to all this. Like I've been Campbell and I have been preaching like sell high on Lauri Markkanen before Utah shuts him down. The shutdown is coming. Like he's going to be injured all year anyway, and then Utah's not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to play him. So I've been shouting that, and I talked to my son Soren yesterday, and I was like, dude, you've got to move Lauri Markkanen before it's too late. He's playing right now. He's scoring. Like everything's good right now. You need to move him. And like 5 minutes later, he comes up. He's like, "Hey, I traded Markkanen and Simons to get Jaren Jackson Jr." I'm like, "Yes, I love it." Now he gave up a lot. Anthony Simons and Lauri Markkanen is a lot for JJJ, but I still applaud the kid for going out there, putting a deal together that quickly and getting it done. Who did Amy offer me Markkanen for? I have to figure that out. Just real quickly to go over the rest of your team. You've got James Harden, Mikal Bridges, Keldon Johnson, Chet Holmgren, who you got probably in the 3rd round. Valanciunas, you got Jalen Duren coming back tonight. That's big. You got Julius Randle, and you have Hartenstein, and Jared Allen, and then the guy sitting on your bench tonight because he's not playing is Luka Doncic. I mean, that is
stacked. Yeah, I'm stacked, and yet I'm losing to Stephen Malcolmus, who auto-drafted. But yeah, my team is stacked this year.
It's super stacked. I love it. Oh, it was Laurie Markkinen for Jalen Brunson. I said no.
Oh, yeah, that's a no.
But if you're listening to this or watching this, and Amy, if you're watching or listening to this, I apologize for calling you out. But we sort of, I mean, it came up organically. I mean, you got to try to move the guy. I'm with you there. Keep trying. I need Wemby to play tonight, by the way. Okay. Back to Christmas Day. This is the end of it. Luka becomes the fourth guy to ever score 50 points on Christmas Day. He's the seventh fastest NBA player to ever reach 10,000 career points, the fastest since Michael Jordan did it. Him and Grayson Allen both hit 8 3-pointers yesterday to, I believe that tied the Christmas Day 3-pointer record. My guy on my 30 deep team, Derrick Jones Jr., having a career year, had 23 points, 3 boards, a steal, 3 triples. Derek Lively back from an ankle injury that kept him out for 4 games. Double-double with 20 and 10. Hit 8 of 9 shots. And Tim Hardaway had 18 points, 7 boards, 3 3-pointers. If Derek Lively was dumped when he was injured, it's time to go pick him up again. It's so fun watching him and Luka run pick and rolls. I love Derek Lively playing with Luka.
This team is just flat out better without Dorian Finney-Smith playing 39 minutes a night.
It really is. And you know what I liked about yesterday's game, what I saw on TV, was when Luka went over to the sidelines, Kyrie was the first one there, like pushing him and like, yeah, boy, you on fire, like dapping him up and talking smack. And I feel like Kyrie is, if he was not really hurt, he would be fully invested in his team and out there playing every day. I just think he's really hurt. That Dwight Powell falling on both of his feet when they're sticking straight up in the air was not good. I mean, that would put any of us out of commission for a long time. So
did you see the highlight where Dwight Powell jumped up and hit his head on the beam as he was walking out onto the court? It's worth watching. It looked really painful.
I will check that out. Chimezie Metu for the Suns with Jokic out somehow had 23 points and a career high 19 rebounds.
He looked amazing. I watched him for a while. He looked great. Nurkic isn't out for very long, but he's a great streamer.
I mean, he was a great streamer last night. Nurkic is a personal reasons guy right now, so we don't really know when he's going to be back. It probably won't be too long. Booker had 20. Durant had 16. Grayson Allen was awesome. Allen had a career high 32 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, a steal, and 8 triples. I've been riding the Grayson Allen train throughout this whole Brad Beal mess. I will continue to do so. They need him.
I told my brother-in-law who's got Brad Beal just sitting out there because he's already using his IR spot. I was like, I think Beal's a drop. I know you think that's sort of reckless thing to say on a fantasy podcast, but I can't see him putting up huge numbers this year. I just don't see it.
I don't like it either. I mean, I think he's going to be the third option standing open in the corner like Austin Reaves when LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't have the ball. And his ankle and his back problems probably aren't going to go away. I mean, Brad Beal's lower leg is always hurt. It has been for like 6 years. Grayson Allen's not going away. Eric Gordon's probably not going away. I'm not going to sit here and tell people to straight up just cut Bradley Beal, but I don't hate you for telling your brother-in-law that. Like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, people didn't think that dropping Ben Simmons 2 months ago was probably a great idea, but where in the hell is Ben Simmons?
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what I tell my brother-in-law to do. His response is always, Did you know Michael Porter Jr. used to steal packs of gum from the Walgreens downtown?
Oh, I love that so much. That is the best, dude. That is outstanding.
Some bad blood.
Bad blood. Bad blood. Dante Exum, by the way, very quiet yesterday, but he's been awesome filling in for Kyrie as well. We still don't know when Kyrie's coming back. Although they did show Brad Beal in a hoodie shooting jumpers yesterday, Brian. Did you see that?
I got him on an IR spot in my one league, but I don't know.
If you can't IR him up, I'm with you, man. I don't know that you want him on your cluttering up your roster.
A bunch of DNPs.
6 games Brad Beal's played in this year. 6. Hey, let's blow through this lineup real quick and then answer some viewer questions, okay?
All right.
I want to look at tonight's schedule. So Brooklyn is at Detroit. Brooklyn has to win, or they let Detroit snap a 26-game losing streak on their watch. That would not be a good look. Orlando at Washington. I don't care. Atlanta at Chicago. I think I'm rolling some. Who's the point guard? Why is his name slipping me? This is what happens when you get old. I think Kobe White against Atlanta is a very good play. I know Trae Young is kind of iffy. Alex Caruso is the guy. He's cheap. I think I'm going to play him tonight. Atlanta's a sieve, just like Indiana. The Bulls should score 1 million points, and the Hawks will score 1,000,001. Same thing with Indiana at Houston. Indiana doesn't play defense. Alperen Sengun should go crazy. Who knows what Benedict Mathurin will do, dude? Like, it's either 6 points or 30. There's no in between.
Yeah, I had to let go of him. He's inconsistent. Thought I even drafted him. I thought he was going to have a big year. I would take Obi Toppin over Mathurin if you want a pacer that you can be expendable on your roster.
Tari Easton's been hurt. He was fun before he got hurt. Hopefully he's back and ready to roll tonight. In New Orleans, we got Ja Morant going for 4 wins in a row versus Zion Williamson. I think that is going to be fun. Ja's price tag in DFS is through the roof now. I feel like he's a must-have guy, but he's 10,000 on FanDuel, and that's a lot of money, man.
I mean, yeah, he's probably going to put up solid numbers. And man, his first game back, I watched the whole game, and he was impressive. It was awesome.
He's been impressive in all 3 of them, and he's been turned loose and set free, and he's fully healthy. He's been doing nothing for like a year except waiting to play basketball. Like he's just ready to be unleashed. Game of the night, Brian. Who would have thunk it back in October? Minnesota at Oklahoma City. You got number 1 versus number 3 in the West.
I love this. But Minnesota, Oklahoma City is not something that the TV networks think ahead of the season. Oh, we got to show everyone this, but it's the game I want to see. I don't want to see Golden State against the Lakers.
No, your choices this evening on NBA TV are the Pacers at Houston, which I get it. Tyrese Halliburton is fun. That should be. Yeah. I like watching the Pacers. I love this Pacers team. And then you get Charlotte Hornets at the Clippers at 10:30 on NBA TV. Brian, what are you going to be doing instead of watching that game? And you'll probably be reading.
I mean, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here in Missouri. I mean, I'm going to watch Rudolph again. Yeah, Minnesota's so fun, and then Oklahoma City is obviously like on the up and up and young and exciting. Like that's the game you want to watch. You have to live in one of those cities to get the game on TV, or you have to have like the special package. Do you have the special package?
The league pass. You should have come to Dahlonega, Georgia for Christmas, and then we
Special
could
pack
watch.
this year.
We could watch the Thunder and Minnesota game tonight. What you should do tonight is read about the Missouri-Ohio State matchup in the bowl game. All right. You got Wemby against Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz. We don't know if Keontae George is going to play. If he doesn't, Chris Dunn is a very strong DFS play tonight. I need Wemby. I need Wemby to play. I literally have him on every fantasy team I have.
You have to expect a bunch of nights off when you draft a guy like Gumby. Like, it's like,
hey, you have Chet Holmgren, bro. Same thing.
I have Wemby in one of my 3 teams, but like, this is part of the deal.
The problem is the Spurs had that 2-game week, and he only played in one of those. Why everybody else was playing 4, and I've never recovered since. You got the Kings at Portland. The Kings should roll them. And then you got Charlotte at the Clippers on NBA TV at 10:30. Make sure you tune in for that one. Although the Clippers, hottest team in the league, baby. It looks like it's working. It's all working out.
I love Kawhi Leonard, and he has played more than expected so far this year. So I hope they do well.
All right, Brian, we're going to go quick hits on these questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mr. C wants to know, who do you prefer rest of the season, Derek Lively or Isaiah Hartenstein?
Oh, God, it hurts me to say it, but Lively's got minutes guaranteed. So I might choose that over iHeart, who's going to go back to the bench when Mitch Robb is back. What do you think?
I'm going to say short term, I want Hartenstein. Long term, I want Lively. I'm going to find a way to have both of them on my roster if they're both available in my league. But if you're in like a 10-man or 8-man, that's hard to do. Brian, this guy is helping you out. Tristan Isolt, telling you how to pronounce Jaime Jaquez. I'm sure when I called him Jamie Jaquez, people are just like, what an idiot.
Yeah, I was the one who called them that first, and I play the bongos, so you're cool.
Rafael Barbosa, LaMelo Ball, and Jrue Holiday trade for Anthony Davis.
I know what it depends what you think LaMelo's situation is. What do you think?
Well, I tell you what I like about it from a Davis perspective is Davis is playing through injuries and looks like he has a different mindset as far as playing with injuries this year than in the past. So I don't know that he's going to go to the locker room every game like he has in the past. I also don't know where Brian just went, but he's back. And then LaMelo and Holiday, man, I don't know that I can give up LaMelo and Holiday for Davis. But if you're going to trade for Anthony Davis, that's the kind of deal it's going to take. So,
and now is the moment you want to sell high on Anthony Davis if you own him and you're looking to get rid of him.
So yeah, I think it's a fair trade. I think it's going to have to be something like that to get Davis. Aditha is back as he is every week. Hi, Doc and Brian. Merry Christmas, both of you. Is Tari Eason still a hold? And that is a great question. I mean, when was the last time we saw Tari Eason play? Brian, do you remember? I don't.
I mean, he's asking about head-to-head 12-team, 15 categories. You're in like a 30-team league where someone like that is a hold. 15 cat. How are there even 15 categories? Are they doing
doubles? Yeah, they're doing defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, free throws made, free throw percentage. So last time we played was December 23rd, which was Saturday. 8 points, 4 boards. Blah.
Doesn't seem like a hold to me.
Well, the problem was he was balling, and then he got hurt. And he had 14 points, 8 boards, 4 steals, and a block last Monday. I'm still trying to hang in there with him, but again, if he's the worst player you have, you're in a 12-team league, somebody you really want to pick up is sitting out there, you got to make a decision and go with it. So, I mean, I could see dropping Taurean to pick up a hot free agent.
What about Caris LeVert?
What about Caris LeVert?
Would you drop Eason for LeVert?
No.
Depends on who's on the wire in that league. You know, you're not going to find a Podziemski out there in that league.
I would drop Eason for Podziemski in a heartbeat. Oh, Brian, to answer your question, I think it's your typical 9 cap plus field goals made, free throws made, 3-pointers percentage, double-doubles, triple-doubles.
Flagrant fouls.
And flagrant fouls. Dude, it's always been my dream to be in a league that rewarded or punished you for flagrant fouls.
This man is living your dream.
Really? Well, the actual dream is for you and I to do our per minutes league that we keep threatening every year.
Minutes league would be amazing. iHeart would be amazing.
Well, we need to get together sometime and like write down. Like we need to have a meeting to figure out how we're going to do that. All right, we got one more question, one more comment, and then we're gonna roll out of here and go enjoy the rest of the holiday. Tristan also says, I accepted an offer from Kawhi Leonard for my Devin Booker last week, about 5 minutes before he was given a GTD and missed the next 2 games. I didn't need him last week, winning 7-1. Good trade or not? Gave away Booker, got Kawhi Leonard. Brian doesn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that Kawhi is going to be sitting on the bench too many games down the stretch, and Booker doesn't have that quality. So I would probably be inclined to hold Booker, but straight up, numbers-wise, Kawhi might be the better fantasy asset.
I like Booker better than Kawhi. I will just say that. I'd rather have Booker. Brian, I lied. We're doing another one. WW wants to know, should I drop Jordan Clarkson and Devin Vassell for Derrick Lively and Jalen Duren?
Absolutely. Go big.
I am not going to sit here and tell you to drop Devin Vassell for anyone. I would hang on to Vassell. I would drop Clarkson, and I would pick up Jalen Duren. How about that?
Those are a couple nice centers right there, but yeah, Vassell's for real.
And Tristan is coming back at us with Kawhi's only missed 2 games. Booker's missed 10 or more, which he's got a point. And I feel like Kawhi is right there with AD in that mindset of I'm going to play as many games as I can play in this year, and the Clippers are special. We're going to do something. So, I don't hate the trade. I just like Devin Booker better. I trust him more than I trust Kawhi, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that was a bad trade. That's a fair trade any way you slice it.
I feel like Tristan is our special third guest on the podcast this week.
Well, he is. He's always here. Tristan's always here. Aditha's always here. A lot of these guys are here every week. Very loyal supporters. I appreciate all of that. Click the like and subscribe button. If you want a free RotoWire trial, go to rotowire.com/try. You get a free trial if you do that. Brian, next time I have you on, and you are going to, there will be a next time because you're literally my favorite, one of my favorite people in the world. We may just sit here and just answer questions the entire time. We may not even have an agenda. Well, we never have an agenda anyway. I mean, clearly I just wing this, but
we could just do a thing where people write a player's name and I try to pronounce it. I would go for a 30-minute solid without ever getting old.
It'd be like like Charles Barkley, who he played for, except it'd be Thunder God, how he say this. Oh, that was that. I'm kind of proud of that. All right, Brian, go back to your brother-in-law. Tell him that he was a hot topic on today's show. Find out about this Missouri football team. In fact, are they even playing Ohio State? I'm pretty sure they are. Missouri was really good this season in football, and Missouri fans were talking so much smack about them all season long, and they got a chance to really make a statement and take out Ohio State. So I would like for you to report back to me via text message later what your family's feeling is about this football game.
I'm on it.
All right, everybody, have a great day. And Cameron and I will be back here on Thursday at 11 o'clock to do this again. Peace.